brand new podcast. This is Art Therapy with Tyler, Brushstrokes and Breakthroughs. Today, I just wanted to talk about how, motivation through art and trying to find a way to create when you're feeling stuck and being in a stagnant position with your creative mind. There's been plenty of times where it's just I don't honestly know what to create. I will look to, sometimes YouTube, looking at different videos, finding other artists of, similar creativity as well with their art forms. A lot of times, we create based off our emotions and such, and depending on how your mood is, going into that, I create based off my emotions. That's one of the things I've learned as an artist. And I've struggled with a lot with trying to figure out what it is I wanted to draw on paper or paint. There is no plan sometimes when you create, and you just have to go with the flow, let go, and decide whether, hey, this is something. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to say, hey, this is what I want to do. And pretty much just, I don't know half the time. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. With life has been not the greatest, I want to say. It hasn't been bad. It's been good. Just I often sometimes try to figure out what it is that truly inspires me. And I've been asked that before, why do you create artwork? Why do you draw? Why do you paint? Do because I love it. That's one of the main reasons why I draw and paint. It's a good outlet for freedom of expression. I feel like with art therapy, that's one of the things that you use to, as your outlet. Not many people understand artists. Artworks aren't really meant to be understood by many, but if it's by a select few, you make that impact on that person. I think that's good. You can be perceived as a person who creates positive, uplifting artwork, and a lot of times, people can create art that is based on, from background, experiences of, grief, sorrow, a sense of an awakening, I want to say. And through my art, sometimes it could be described as, positive, raw, intense, or it could be a sense of sorrow, grief. And growing up, I dealt with a lot through my childhood into adulthood. Art was that one outlet that got me through a lot of stuff. I always looked to trying to find a way to express myself. Drawing was one of those things that was always there for me. Painting was another thing. I was never really that good at drawing before growing up. And half the time as an artist, I didn't like my own art. It's just one of those things that artists that we deal with when we critique our work, and then others, seeing what they view it as well. I just didn't really care for it too much. I would draw, and then as I got older, went to college. I took an art class, a couple of different courses there, and I was told honest opinions about my art, and it's how you take those critiques on where you can strengthen those areas for your creativity. It's not that saying that somebody says that you're a bad artist. It's just that you can improve on these certain areas. They just give you their rough analysis on. They see your strengths in these certain particular areas. It's an opinion. Art is subjective. I feel like it's a freedom of speech. And when I create, it brings me much peace. That tension that I feel within myself, whether I'm feeling sad or angry or stressed, that can be interpreted through, anybody's art. You would never know unless the person says exactly what it is, peering through the veil of one's soul into their life. How I'm feeling right now as an artist, I honestly could say I'm proud of what I've achieved so far. I'm still not where I want to be, and that's okay if you're not like in that particular place in life where you just want to be where you are with your artwork. I wish I could do this full time. With the honesty, that's one of the things I've always been passionate about. It's a struggle sometimes for people, just finding that way, that the thing that drives you, to better succeed, better yourself. It's tough. Creating this podcast, I was afraid putting this out. Our mind, tricks us. Is like, hey, what do these people say? This sucks. This isn't good at all, or anything. This isn't going to help anybody. No, we can't think like that. That is a negative mindset. As I mentioned before in the previous podcast, we can't think negative. When we let that win, that defeats our inner peace within ourselves that we're trying to, maintain. And one of the things I've learned is you have to stay humble through anything it is that you do. I'm not better than anybody else, the person that's next to me or above me or in front of me. You can only be you. And then art in that way has been myself. I feel like anytime I create art, a part of my soul goes into those works. Whether I'm drawing, painting, if I'm doing a video edit or something of the sort, that's a part of me. Like my heart and soul is within that project. Art is not a project. I consider it as art is a creative part of you. I don't want to classify that as being a project. What has been a great inspiration to me has been, my mother has been in my life as well, with me creating artwork since I was a kid. I remember getting my first, it was a Digimon tracing set that you could actually trace the characters and how to draw Pokemon books and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I wanted to learn how to draw. I said, hey, Mom, I want to know how to do exactly what they're doing. I want to get into do voice acting. I want to get into drawing. I want to get into painting. And as a kid, I would get frustrated sometimes. Like I said, wow, doesn't this look like how that looks? And she would always tell me, it's not going to look that way just yet. You have to keep practicing. You have to keep trying. And that's one of the things as an artist. We will fail. And sometimes when we fail, that is important towards being successful. You have to be humble. You have to fail to succeed. And most of us, we don't want to fail. We don't want to let ourselves down. We don't want to let the person down that's close to us, or ourselves. And that's one of the things I've learned now, even more, that we have to accept our failures in order to progress and move forward in life. In anything that we've done. A lot weighs on me sometimes, but I always try to maintain my positivity and my charisma. That's one of the things, I've learned to do. I've through past trauma experiences, and I feel like using that art has helped me shift gears from, hurt and pain that has been inflicted, upon myself. Healing. One of the things is healing through art, which is your therapy. That can be one in its own. And so, I know I'm getting heavy with you guys, like with all the stuff on this heavy topic. But let's seriously be real. What drives you to create anything? What is the thing that has shaped you into the person who you are? And why do you think art is good? How has it helped you? What are you doing currently? Like, what is your plan with your art? What do you hope to achieve? That's a lot of things I tend to ask myself. And a lot of people say they don't have a plan. I don't have any, I'm just going with it. I want people to see my art and admire it. Just being grateful to be able to have that gift and ability to create something can be more than enough. Struggling when creating. We often tend to overthink, hey, I don't know what I want to paint or draw today. That's what we all tend to think to ourselves, and we have to find ways to find that inspiration. going outside is one of the things. Taking pictures of landscapes, seeing people going to the city, looking at a lot of different, just like people just being like in, they could be doing anything random. Take a picture of it, utilize that, have that photo, have a camera, your phone. Your phone is a good source to take, pictures, to capture things, to create, whether it's a tree, animals, people having fun, enjoying it, having a good time. That's one of the things I've learned. A lot of people tend to get afraid, like, well, what if this is not liked by many? Who cares if it's not liked by many? If you like it, that's the most important thing. That's what should matter to you. When I create my artwork, I can't say I don't care what people think, because all artists care what people think. That's one of the things that we've all dealt with. Sometimes I don't care, sometimes I do. If it hurts, it hurts. You move past it, you learn from it. Not everybody's gonna like what you create, what you put out. It could be music, poetry that you're doing. It could be dancing, any type of art form, a film, anything that you hold dear within yourself that you've created that says, hey, I think this is good. I personally feel I worked hard on this. And then you get that one person that critiques you and says, this isn't good. It's not your best work. And your response to that should be, well, it doesn't matter if it's my best work. What knows is that I love and I enjoy what I've created. And it is, I attempted to create something. That's one of the things that you have to say to yourself. As long as you love and enjoy it, you feel that you've done your best and you'll continue to create, that should not stop you. There's too many negative people out here that will try to come for anybody that wants to create something and say, hey, this is trash. Move it to the back. Just throw this whole project thing away. And as I said before, art is not a project for myself. Whatever it is for everybody else, I consider it as, it's a part of my soul that has gone into it. Struggling with motivation. How can we motivate ourselves to create and you lose that spark? How do you get that spark to come back? How do you find, what is the thing that makes you tick, per se? Like, what has inspired you to create? Like, say if you're hurting and you're in so much pain, you feel so much grief, so much trauma from what it is that you've experienced in life, and you just want to let go of all of that. You can channel that into your art, into your craft, whatever it is that you do. For instance, I've created art pieces, paintings that have described pain and sadness and trauma within its own. I've created artworks that are happy and cheerful. When I was either happy, I was in the best of mood in my life. A lot of times my artwork is just it's just loose, it's free. You just don't think about it. You just go with the flow. Sometimes you sketch it out. Take sketches down. Get a sketchbook. Keep one on you, like a small little journal or something. Jot down some notes. Say, hey, I got an idea of what I want to create today. You don't need a plan to create anything at all. YouTube is another good source as well. The thing is, as long as you know that you enjoy creating something, you try your best. Don't give up that talent. It doesn't matter what anybody else says to you. I think you should keep going for it. Why do we as artists, feel as though we aren't good enough when creating? Why do we have self-doubt? I've always pondered why the question of us not believing more in our capable abilities that we have within. Why does that happen? Why does that sneak up on us? What drives us to create such incredible pieces? I remember growing up, there's been a lot of people in my family that have had, different artistic creativity talents with music. They could sing, they could dance, they could rap, anything. And some of them were good at writing poetry. Some of them were good at art. Some of them were good at writing. And then it's sad to see that a lot of people, they let those talents fade away. You change and shift gears because you're afraid of what others are going to think about, you creating something, or it just gets shelved somewhere. And you're thinking to yourself, this person was so incredible at creating this. Why did they go and put that creative gift on the shelf? Why keep it hidden? Why reshelve something that you were bestowed with, that was meant to be shared? Where there's failure, there's success. And anything that you have struggled with to create, you always have another time to do it again, to start over. It's another way that you're going to say, hey, it's time to level up. We're going to get there. It might not be today, but someday soon. If you keep practicing, you will succeed. Art will always be the voice that speaks many volumes. Anything that we have created holds a great meaning in its own. We should never stop creating. We should always continue to strive and push forward past our limits through anything that we do. We need to keep on creating. That's what you need to do. That's what I need to do. And that's what I intend to keep doing. Now, thank you guys for checking out the podcast.